Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Roll With It. I'm your host, Petra. Okay, before I get started, I just want to shout out a GoFundMe, a family that really needs help in my community, the Powell family. They lost their little girl, 6 years old, to a seizure, epilepsy, and it's very sad. And I will link the GoFundMe page down below so you guys can donate or share or do whatever you can, please. They need help to take as much time off of work as they can and to support their other 2 little girls. And my heart goes out to that family. It truly does. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about bad aides. So, I've had one-on-one aides since I was in preschool, because I need help. I need help writing. I need help going to the bathroom. I need help with a multitude of things. So, I need an aide, someone by my side all the time. I will not be using names, obviously. I will not be using time frames because, obviously, I will be redacting a few details. Because I don't think this person is a bad person that needs to be shunned. We just didn't click. And that's okay. That's okay if you don't click with your aide, you know? So, let's get started into my bad aide experience. So, I've had multiple kind of bad things happen to me with aides, but nothing like serious. This aide made me feel terrible about myself. I don't know where to begin. How do I want to go about this? Okay, so this aide came like in the middle of some year. And at first it was really good. And then there were some like red flags and her calling me like hard-headed and like stuff like that, like commenting on my like brains and just stuff like that. And then it turned into one time I had to go to the bathroom. I truly did. And so I went into the bathroom, got on the toilet, and then didn't have to go. Couldn't go. She thought I made the thing up to get out of class. So she put me in my standard to punish me. And left on her lunch break, which you should not do. Like, you can't do that. Like, the teacher's not trained to take me out if something happened. You are. Like, and my feet hurt so bad. My therapist was pissed off and so mad. My parents were angry. Like, you don't do that to a child. You even say I made the whole bathroom thing up to get out of class. You do not do that. That's not a punishment at all. How would you know if I did that to get out of class? You don't. So it just made no sense to me, and I remember going home crying about it. Like, I was truly upset. And this was a reoccurring theme. I would go home sobbing because I did not like this aide. my parents would be like, well, why don't we bring it up? And I was terrified. No child should go home terrified of their age, scared of their age, scared of your parents telling the school what's going on. And, like, she was a little bit too hard with me, like, grabbing my hand, like, hard. Like, I'm not saying, like, grab. I'm saying, like, hard. Like, I'm just so scared to talk about this. Like, very, like, hard. Like, physically hard. And, like, I would ask for help with, like, writing and, like, eating. And she wouldn't do it. And, like, so stupid to cry about. But, like, and then if I made a mess with eating my food, she would yell at me. And I feel like that's why I can't eat food in public. I'm sorry. This is, like, hard for me to talk about. I've never, like, fully talked about it like this. I've, like, talked to people about it, but nothing like this. And and she would complain about her job all the time. I mean, all the time. If you don't like being an aide to a child or children, guess what? Do not get a job in that profession. I'm sorry. And complain about, like, other kids she had. Like, I'm sorry. But if you don't want to be an aide to disabled children, specifically, do not do it. It was just so fucked up. Now that I think about all the things, it's so fucked up. I would hope every day that she wasn't there, that I would get a substitute aide, because that's how much I dreaded. And no kid should feel like that. And it was so bad that even the principal I had at the time pulled my grandmother aside and said, so-and-so doesn't treat your granddaughter right. Like, the school knew. But they didn't do anything about it. If you know a student is being mistreated by a staff member, or being abused by a staff member, aren't you, like, required to report it? I say everything happens for a reason, and that taught me a lot. And I eventually, at some point, got a excellent aide. But it took a long time. Because the system is fucked up. I don't know. I'm scared to talk about it. Because if this person figured out who they are, well, they know what they did. But if they figure out who they are, I'm scared. But I think the bigger message in this is worth it. Because my parents love them to death. But they probably should have said something, even when I said don't. And it's not their fault because they were going out after what I was saying. Like, I say, oh, I'm just being dramatic, whatever. I was not being dramatic or exaggerating. I was telling the truth, but I didn't like conflict. I still don't, and wanted to avoid it at all costs. And that's what happened. So this is for other children who are in the same situation, but also more so for parents, as like a warning. Like, if your child dreads going to school, there's something going on, no matter if they're disabled or not. But especially if they're disabled and have a one-on-one aide, you might want to look into that and bring it up, because your child, like, I would come home crying, like sobbing. Like, I was so stressed out and so scared. Like, I didn't want to ask to go to the bathroom. I didn't want to mess up on anything, or else I would get yelled at. Like, you're there to help me. And at that point, I definitely was not independent. And you're there to help me with whatever I need help with. It's just, it irritates me. It makes me angry. It makes me mad. And I've had, like, all my aides besides Miss Angie has done kind of the same thing. Or I should say I haven't clicked with. So I could be talking about any of them. But there is this one specific person that I'm talking about. But yeah. And if you're watching this and you figure out who you are, I don't mean any harm by it. We just did not click. And I'm sure you're a great person. This is just my experience. I blocked out most of those years because they were so traumatic. Wish I would have just said, you know what, no. This is not how you treat me. This is not how you treat anyone. Duh. If you're going to aid for someone or go into anything children related and you don't like children, don't freaking do it. How hard is it? It's not like aides and teachers are getting paid millions of dollars. Come on. Pick a different profession. I don't understand that mentality, and I never will. It's just the bottom line of it. I will never understand it. But since that time, I've had good aides since I was in 4th grade. Yeah. Around that time frame. And I'm so grateful for my good aides because I thought all aides were like that until I met Miss Angie. Oh my god, I'm crying. Until I met Miss Angie and she taught me no, that wasn't okay and that's not okay. And here, I'm gonna treat you like my child. That's the way it should be. Man, I'm crying. Man, I didn't think I would cry this much. I didn't even cry that much, but you know what I mean. The education system is fucked up. But especially for disabled students, there really isn't much. And when a disabled person complains about an aide or a teacher, we're not taken seriously, even if the people in charge see it for themselves. We're not taken seriously. And I didn't want my parents to say anything out of fear of repercussion by that person. Which is just, I'm so mad at myself. But I was little. Okay? Can't say my age because that'll give away, who it was. I have an excellent aide now, Lisa. And before this, I had, the best aide on planet Earth, Miss Angie, that literally treats me like her child. I don't know what I would do without them. I couldn't imagine going through my growing up with continuing getting med aids. I couldn't imagine, and I'm just so grateful for them. I've had teachers that don't understand my disability. I will say this because I don't freaking care if they see this and know it's about them, because I don't fucking care. But my first grade teacher was, one time I got a little bag of M&Ms or Skittles, and 2 bags, and I was opening the second bag, and my teacher told me to wait, but all the other kids were opening theirs, so I'm like, I'll just open mine by myself. So I do that, and it goes everywhere. And she wouldn't give me another one because I was supposed to wait. Just can't. I don't even know the word ableist. I don't know. But, yeah, I know you told me wait, but I was going. Every other child was doing it by themselves. So I was like, I'll try to do it. And it went well. Or went wrong. You're supposed to say, oh, it's okay, here's another one. And I was 6 years old, okay? I wasn't 13, I was 6. You know how bad that made me feel? And the fact she did it in front of my other classmates, that made me feel so, bad about myself. I had another teacher, 2nd grade, didn't understand it. But it was also her first year teaching, so hey, and I had her later on for a thing, not as a teacher, but another thing. And I loved her then, so I think it might have just been she was new to it. It's fine. Just, people don't talk about this issue a lot. They see aides as heroes and selfless people. When, yes, in my eyes, my aide, Miss Angie, she was my hero. My knight and my guardian angel. But I don't see aides as heroes. They're doing their job. They're doing their job. And can we retire the word special needs? Our needs aren't special. They're just any other needs a child has. I don't get it. Just call it disabilities for God's sakes. If you want me to do a whole video on, phrases and words that piss me off, I'll do that. If anything, this is a story of warning to parents and to children out there to be careful who you let take care of your child, because it can stay with them forever, obviously, because I still have issues. This video is not meant to, like, bash anyone, harm anyone, be hateful to anyone. I'm just sharing my experience, and it wasn't that the aide that I had at the time was a terrible person. We just didn't mesh well, and that's okay. But what wasn't okay was no one stepping in when they saw it and be like, this is not okay. And if you do it again, you're fired. Like, there was none of that because the school didn't care. The school cares about money and about time. And they don't want to find anyone else. They rather sweep it under the rug. At least my school district. I don't know. It's just we need to figure out something, and like anyone has anything similar, please message me. I won't post it. Unless you want me to share it, I won't. And we can bond over bad aid experiences. And if you've had one and you want to share it, comment down below on the YouTube video. Great for a little pop culture. I haven't done that in a while. Let's do a little pop culture segment. Gracie Abrams is releasing her debut album on February 25th, I believe, something like that. And I'm so fucking excited. Like, I can't wait. I love her whole discography. I have a playlist on my Apple Music. Like, it's just her discography. And I literally just hit play from the start and listen to the whole thing. I love every single song she's done. Like, I'm so fucking excited for it. This album, like, Madison Beer for releasing a new album this year. I'm so excited. I love live support. I went to the live support virtual concert in 2021. And it was like the best night of my life. I never had so much fun in my entire life. Madison just holds a special place in my heart. And I think she's truly misunderstood by so many people. And it's very frustrating because they don't do their research. And they only see clips that people have edited and taken out of context. And it's so frustrating. And I just love her so much. And she doesn't deserve the hate that she gets. So, like, same with Sabrina Carpenter. Like, I feel like more people have flipped the script and like her now. But, like, when that whole thing was going down, it was so fucked up. Like, I don't know. Like, so messed up. Like, she was treated so unfairly. Like, so ridiculous. Like, social media and, like, what people will say and take out context and assume. Like, so fucked up. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sorry if it was like all over the place or like I wasn't as chipper. It's just very hard to talk about, and I hope it raises awareness and helps some people out there. And don't forget that the GoFundMe for the Powell family will be linked down below. And please, at the very least, if you can't donate, that's okay. I know finances are very tough right now, but at least share it. Please, 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 anything will help. I hope you enjoy this little interesting podcast. Oh, but if you guys enjoy this, like, all over the place podcast, make sure you share that GoFundMe page and donate if you can. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. Even if you're just listening, please subscribe. It'll help out tremendously. And like the video and comment, like, engage. Because that helped me get into the algorithm, I think. And also, follow the podcast on Instagram and TikTok at rollwithit.podcast. Please follow my personal Instagram, Petra_petty_17. And for business inquiries, my email is rollwithit1@gmail.com. That's for the podcast. And for personal business inquiries, my email is mariepetra8@gmail.com. And you guys enjoy this video. Hope you have a safe week, and I'll talk to you next week.